Hey guys, in this video I'm going to be walking you through the process of buying a home from the time that you have the twinkle in your eye of thinking about purchasing a home to the day that you get the keys, you close, and we high five. So maybe you're a first time home buyer, you've never done this before, this is all completely foreign to you, or you moved across the country and you just want to make sure that the Colorado home buying process is similar to what you have in your current state. Well, we are going to cover every step for you. So if you're looking for that type of video, freaking found it. Let's get into it. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I am Sean Murphy, team leader of the Moxie Denver team. It's a real estate team here in the Mile High City. We cover the Front Range, we cover the foothills, and what I'm going to be walking you through today is really the first step that we have with our clients. It's just getting on a buyer's consultation with them. This is one aspect of the call that we have with them. So this is 30,000 foot view, the process of buying a home. And the first step is you could either connect with a real estate agent. Hey, that's me. I'm Sean. Good to see you. I am the guy that helps you find the home, see the home, negotiate the terms and price for the home. I'm there with you throughout the under contract process to make sure it's the property that you actually like, and if you want to back out for any reason, I protect your earnest money. I'm in your corner. The other first step would be to talk with a lender, and they're kind of interchangeable steps because you need both of us, right? The lender is going to tell me what we can do with your offer. They're going to let you know what your anticipated monthly payment would be, what your pre-approval amount will be, and everything like that. So you have two people in your corner. You can talk to either one of them first. That's the first step that you want to do. So when you jump on a call with me, we're going to get a really good idea of the type of property that you're looking for and get you set up on a custom automated home alert. That's just going to hit your email every time a new property that fits your criteria pops up. And I'm going to ask a lot of questions about what you're looking for, but they might not all show up or be variables that we want to put in the criteria search for websites. So you meet with me, we get you all set up, you meet with the lender, you get your pre-approval, and once you have that, you're kind of lethal out there. If you see something that you like, we can write an offer and we can try to take it down. People always ask, like, well, when should I have that buyer's consultation? On our team, we like to meet with you right now. If you are ready to go or anticipate the next 6 months, you're going to be pulling the trigger on something. Let's have this now, because once I set you up on that custom automated home alert, you're going to start seeing these properties in these areas that pop up. So you'll start to see pockets of areas that are producing the type of homes that you're looking for, and you're going to see how fast they're going for. So it's good to have, a couple months of just like seeing things online before you actually jump into it. If you have that luxury. Some people, we have the buyer's consultation and then we're going out the next day or same day to look at homes. That's cool too. But if you're winning in 6 months, let's jump on a call. So now we got you set up on a custom automated home alert. You're looking at homes online. This is the fun part. This is the HGTV part. And once you're ready to start looking at properties in person, now we really have some fun, because you are going to see that real estate agents, we take all the best angles, the best lighting, wide lenses, and you're gonna walk into these houses and you're gonna see, oh, this is not what I was expecting. And it kind of smells, right? So stepping inside the house, you're gonna see like the actual space, get a feel for it, make sure the house doesn't smell like cat piss. You're gonna be able to see the neighbors, make sure they're not crazy. And so that's the fun part. When we first go out to look at properties too, the first day out that we go, I usually say, let's go like see 3 to 5 properties, because 3 to 5 is good because you're going to get a good basis for comparison. You're going to see a few different areas, and it's good to see you see homes from our perspective as well, because we're going to get a much better feel for what you like and what you don't like, and it is a good time. I usually don't recommend seeing more than like 5 or 6 homes in any one outing, because they could start to really mesh together and just all the features start to overlap. So if you have a list of 10, I say let's go see the first 5 to 6 that you like the most, and then if any of those aren't winners, we'll go check out the next ones, just to be sure that one of the ones that you like the most, if we don't go see that first, somebody else could like that the most and put it under contract. So that's the way that we approach it. And in Colorado, most new homes are going to hit the market on a Thursday or Friday each week. They're going to have open house and showings over the weekend. And even though the market slowed down, the good properties are still going to get a couple offers, and they'll be selecting something by Monday. And so when you're in it, you got to be just watching it each week. So we'll continue to tour homes until you see something that you like enough and you're like,
"Hey Sean, I like this property enough to write an offer."
And that is when we kick into action. And I don't want you to be leery or nervous about writing an offer for a property, because you're not getting married to it yet. You're going to date this property a little bit. You're going to investigate it. You're going to make sure it's the right property for you before you actually purchase it and pay all the loot and commit to it. And so just by putting something under contract, really it's just giving you the opportunity to investigate it further without other people checking it out. So once you tell me that you like a property enough to write an offer, that's when I spring into action. So I'm going to reach out to the listing agent who represents the seller. And so as the buyer's agent, I act as your fiduciary. I represent your money, help you protect your finances and not overpay for a property. The listing agent, they are hired by the seller to get them the best deal, to get them the best terms. And so the buyers and sellers agent, we are representing our clients, trying to get each other the best deal. So I know a lot of people like watching HGTV. They're like, "Hey, I want to talk to the listing agent." Do you? I don't think you do. The listing agent is really there to benefit the seller. So I'm going to reach out to the listing agent and find out what's important for us to know about dates, deadlines, terms. Are there any other offers in hand? Is there an offer deadline currently in place? So I'm going to go find out all that information by talking to them. And then I'm still going to go run a comparable market analysis. It's just because they're asking $750,000 for a property doesn't mean it's worth $750,000. So I'm going to go still check the market to see what this type and quality of home should be selling for, and then I'm going to come back to you as the buyer and I'm going to give you my recommendation. Based on my experience, here's the type of offer I would write in order for you to win and for the process to be as smooth for you as possible. And here's where I like to pump the brakes. I like to remind my clients that I work for you. I am a service provider. I am an advisor to you. Ultimately, you are the one that is the boss. You are the one that will make all the decisions. I'm just here to help you kind of navigate those decisions and let you know the possible consequence if you want to go down a certain road or another, right? So I will come back and I'll, hey, here's the recommended offer. We'll put it together and we will get it then packaged up and sent over to the listing agent. So they will do one of 3 things. They'll either just accept our offer when we are under contract, then they will counter our offer with a different term, different price, something like that. They'll just make changes to our current offer, or they'll just tell us to go kick rocks. Get out of here! Because they're not interested in our offer at all. Typically, nobody tells us to kick rocks unless we're coming in way crazily low. The goal of writing low offers is to go low enough that you still keep the conversation open without upsetting the seller and making them feel that you're just not realistic and you're trying to take them for everything they have. Alright, so now they've selected your offer and congratulations, you are officially under contract, but now everything really gets real and there are certain checkpoints along the way that you need to make sure you hit in order for the deal to continue moving forward, and as the buyer giving you the opportunity to back out if it doesn't feel right. So the typical under contract process from the day that you go under contract to the day that you close, it's usually 30 days is a good pace to make sure everything gets done and you don't feel rushed. So now I'm going to hit the different checkpoints and the times that you'll be expected to bring money to the table now that we're under contract. So that first deadline is going to be usually 2 days after we go under contract. It is called the earnest money or the escrow deposit. So this earnest money is going to be held by a third party. Typically it's the title company in Colorado. The title company is the company that will be hired to investigate the title to make sure that it is transferred to you free and clear of any liens or anything like that. So just making sure you know of anything that might be tied to this property, but they will also be holding this earnest money. And so it's typically about 1% of the property value. It is negotiable. So $500,000 home, typically $5,000. If you are under 5K, I usually see like the minimum, the floor on that earnest money is usually 5K. So I tell my clients, hey, just have that amount, the 1% or 5K in an account that you can access within 48 hours, because that'll be the first deadline that we need to hit, earnest money. So after that first 7 to 10 days of the under contract process, that is going to be your inspection period. And this is your time to inspect everything that you want on the house to make sure you're confident and comfortable. So you can inspect the home yourself, but most people are going to hire a licensed inspector. And think of a home inspector as kind of like a general practitioner. They're going to get into all the crawl spaces, check underneath the sinks, check the attic, check the outlets of every room in the house. And sometimes I might say, hey, this looks like it needs a specialist in here. Typically it would be like a roofing specialist to see if this roof is still holding its integrity, or a structural engineer or something like that. So general home inspection is typically about $450 depending on the size of the home and the square footage. But then those additional things that you'll add on, two of the most popular things that we have added on are going to be a radon test and a sewer line scope. So radon is a gas that permeates through the soil in Colorado, and about half the homes have high radon levels in Colorado. And also the sewer line can be a super expensive item if it fails. And those are two things, the radon and the sewer, that typically a seller doesn't know that there is an issue with these items until we bring it to light. And now that there are health and safety issues, it's usually in the seller's best interest to just work with you on them to have the issue resolved, because now that they know there is an issue, they would have to disclose that to any future buyers, and typically any buyer is going to want to have those handled. Radon test is typically a couple $100. Sewer line cleaning like $150, $200, but well worth it for the possible expense that you're going to be mitigating by finding any issues before you actually buy the property. And inspectors will find things wrong with the house. And don't freak out, every home will have some issues. That's why I think it's really beneficial for my buyers to attend the inspection, because my inspectors will give you like a verbal wrap up before you see the report. It's like, hey, here's what you're gonna see. I had to document it, but these are the things on the report that maybe health and safety are actionable that you should look at. So we'll get this big long report, and then we will discuss, and anything that would keep you from wanting to move forward with the deal, we have the opportunity to object to the seller for those items. It's called the inspection objection. The seller's going to come back and they're going to say one to three things. They're going to say, hey, we'll have that fixed before closing for you. They'll say, hey, we don't want to come back, we don't want to do any additional work, but we'll give you X amount, a credit for you to be able to hire somebody after closing to take care of it for yourself. Or, somewhere in between, it's a negotiation, or they'll tell you they're not going to do anything. But ultimately, you as the buyer, you have the right to decide if you're confident and comfortable with the resolution that we come together with about moving forward with the deal or not. If you're not, you would then be able to terminate, and at that point, all you would be out is your cost for inspection. You would get your earnest money back. So that's the home inspection. Also, if there are HOA docs, title documents, anything like that to review, that typically happens within that first 7 to 10 days. So now that we know the home is pretty good shape and you feel comfortable with its condition, our next deadline is going to be the home appraisal. And this is only if you're, financing. You can get an appraisal if you're buying cash, but most cash buyers don't. But if you are financing from a mortgage company, they are going to want to have the appraisal. Basic check of the condition of the property, but also they're going to check the value of the home. If they're going to offer you $750,000 loan to purchase this property, they want to make sure it's worth $750,000. And so they're going to have somebody come out. It's called the expert opinion of value. That's what an appraisal is. And typically this deadline will go by without you, the buyer, recognizing, because before we went under contract, that's what we did on our team, is we checked the property value, so there shouldn't be any surprises about the property value. If there was a discrepancy, the lender is only going to give you what your offer price is or what the home appraised at, whichever is less. And so if you offer $750,000, it appraises at $700,000. Unless you want to bring $50K to cover that difference, there's going to have to be some type of negotiation with the seller. Again, it doesn't happen that often, but for the most part, this deadline will go by without you really even noticing, other than the fact that you had to pay out of pocket for it. So the appraisal typically comes about like day 17 to 20 of the under contract process. They usually cost around $650. Each lender will have a slightly different price for it, but that's about where it is. So now that we're past the inspection and we are past the appraisal portion of the under contract process, this next 7 to 10 days up until closing, it's really just like getting a lot of documents ready and getting us prepared for closing. But your lender is going to be doing a lot of work. Now they're going to come back and they're going to double check your finances to make sure that nothing's changed with your finances from what they first pre-approved you for. Now is not the time to open a line of credit or close a line of credit, get a new car. Don't do any of that stuff without first speaking to your lender to make sure it's not going to affect your debt to income ratio and just screw up your ability to get the loan at what they had previously quoted you at. Then normally the day before closing, we're going to go walk through the house, and not all agents do that. That's why you work with us. We always make sure that this process is done unless you absolutely don't want to, but we always advise that you do. And the reason is we want to go walk through the property and make sure the pipes didn't burst, the roof is still there. If there were items on the inspection, objection, and resolution that the seller was supposed to fix, we're going to make sure that those are taken care of, and also that they got all their shit out. And we have to get that addressed quickly because you don't want their crap in the house after you take ownership. So we'll go walk the property, make sure everything looks good, and then the last thing we're going to do is we're going to go to closing. And that's where we will meet with the title company, and they're going to have you sign 2 fat stacks of documents. One is for the deed of the property, and the other is for the loan for the property. So the title company, they're going to register with the county that you are the owner of this property. Also the deed of trust saying that you're using a lender and they have rights to this property as well. And then they're just going to send everything off to your lender to make sure the documents look good. The lender's going to say, awesome, go ahead and finance this. You will then pay your closing cost. It varies. We like to say about 1 to 2% of the property value. If you have those prepared, you should be in a good spot. But it fluctuates a lot depending on proration for taxes, if there's HOA costs, and a whole bunch of little costs come into this. But you will have that credit from what you paid, that earnest money, whatever that $5K will be, a line item on your settlement sheet waiting there for you. So whatever closing costs are minus the $5K. So, and then we high five because you just bought a house. Congratulations. Take a couple sweet photos to show the fam, and then you are on your way with the keys. You just bought a house. So that is the 30,000 foot process of buying a home. Now throughout the under contract process, because maybe you're thinking, damn, that sounds like a whole lot of things to think about. On our team, one thing that we always do with our clients is Monday, we will reach out to the title company, the lender, and the other agent just to make sure that there's nothing falling through the cracks and that we're on time to close on the designated days. At a minimum, we will be jumping on a call on Tuesday to have like a 7-day wrap up and a 7-day forecast. And then here's what we're coming up in the next 7 days so that we can kind of piecemeal it to you and it's not a big, scary process. So that is it. If you guys are thinking about making your move, gotta give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, scroll by fence, whatever works for you. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a like. I appreciate that. And if you haven't yet subscribed yet, come on man, do the thing. Hit that subscribe button, hit the bell so you're notified each time that we put up that new hotness. All right, that's it for this video. Love you guys. See you out there.